Hello and welcome back to Talon 101. This time, we're gonna talk about the 13 frame high. That's right, these two kicks that allow Hwoarang to be like Steve Fox somewhat. Now, can you loop it like this? No, you can't, because they did change the move from being safe at -7/8 to now being -10. But of course, did mention Steve Fox, so if it does hit, that's a crumple stun into a counter hit launch, and that's both ways. So let's talk about what they did to Hwoarang's I-13 counter hit highs. So we're gonna start off with back 4 first. So back 4, right, is a 13 frame high. That's +1 now on hit and -10 on block. If you press this move, you will shift to right foot forward. And if you want to use this move to catch an opponent stepping, this move tracks towards the right. So let's say if we do something like LFS1 on block, LFS1 on block, right? Then you will always catch an opponent stepping towards the right, because this does not track towards the left, not at all, towards the right. And if the opponent decides to backdash, well, they can beat out a lot of Hwoarang's follow-up options, because it's only +1. Do you see that? How RFF B+4 whiffs? Like, they don't have to sidestep. They can choose to sidestep, yes, but their best defensive option is to backdash. So we're gonna focus in on backdash. So if you want to beat a backdash, number one, you've asked the other 13 frame counter hit high to back you up. RFF back 3. The next thing you do is DF1. Then after DF1, ignition barrage, most especially if you have heat active. F1+2. Of course, naturally, your old reliable DF3 and all your lows. So like down 3-4 will go in. Down back 4 will go in, and down 4. And lastly, right, down back 3. So all your lows are available to you. It's just that you also can't, like, you can't grab. No, you can't. You can use other mids as well, like RFF back 2 and RFF 3, but they're on the slower end at 16 frames. I know I did say black kite RFF D3, but this is just so that you have one homing move to use. Now, if you want to throw out a power crush, both power crushes work. But I'd mainly rely on RFF DF2+3, because this will go towards the opponent immediately. Because if you see backlash here, see how long it takes to start up, and the opponent already did backdash prior to backlash even hitting, so they can react to that, like if they're awake. This move does crumple hit stun on counter hit, and your basic B&B for this is to just straight up do backlash, and then just mash 4-4-4, and then end on lightning halberd. That's 79 damage. On average, you should be getting at least 70 plus damage. So you can always make other variations of this, wherein you do something like that. And that's like wall carry. So that basically covers most of like back 4 on paper. So now let's transfer over to RFF back 3. It has the exact same frame data, right? So it's 13 frames, +1 on hit, and -10 on block. And this time, it leaves you in left foot forward, compared to back 4, where that leaves you in right foot forward. Now, this move, compared to back 4, will track towards the left. So if you decide to try to catch somebody stepping there after RFS 2, you'll get them. But you won't get them if, like, they're going towards the right. Right? Now, same thing. If the opponent does backdash on hit, because it's their best defensive option, you call upon the other I-13 counter hit high to help you. But you have a little bit more options here compared to RFF. So number one is that you're allowed to do your 4-3 or your 4-4. Then of course you have shared moves like DF1, DF3+4, F1+2, and of course you're still pressing DF3, but this DF3 is the power crush, which is going to be the same thing as RFF DF2+3. And then of course all your lows, down 3-4, down back 3, and down 4. And this combo, since it does leave you in left foot forward, is a little bit tricky, because you don't have something like backlash to like follow up for like a clean hit damage and go really, really high. So you're not gonna be getting like 70 plus damage usually, for as long as you're following up with backlash. Here, you're gonna do something neat, wherein you do forward 3 into down 3-4. And like so, you're getting 60 plus damage. So that was 61. It's supposed to be 63. So you want both hits of your Flying Eagle to connect. So you can change the way you step with a forward 3 to get different distances. That way the first hit of Flying Eagle does connect there. There you go, 63. So +2 damage if I get the first hit of Flying Eagle to connect. Yeah, and that's about it for both moves on paper. They're basically the same, just different combo and different tracking. However, there are still a few comparisons we can make. Number one is that these moves back in Tekken 7, this was +2 on hit. So, right, it's +1 now in Tekken 8. In Tekken 7, if you did a back 4, that's +2. There are probably going to be like 1 or 2 more options you're allowed to press versus backdash. That's about it. But that's a big deal by losing 1 frame. The other thing is that RFF B+3, this move, this was +4 in Tekken 7. That means it's a little bit better on hit, but now they normalized both moves. Why? I guess it's in line with like the idea of reducing counter hit launchers for most characters. And at least Hwoarang still keeps the, keeps them to be counter hit launchers. Because other characters, they just turn this into a knockdown follow-up. So I guess that's it's a small things that we still keep, even if it did lose its additional frames on hit. And just being, a check tool now in most scenarios. The other thing is that back 4, as you notice, like he moves towards the left a bit. So he kind of like has this inbuilt sidestep left. And it's the same thing for, RFF B+3. There's a slight inbuilt sidestep right. That's why when you end the combo, you're off axis. Or start the combo and counter hit, you're always off axis. So if you want to evade something towards a specific side, just a little bit, you can throw out one of these 2 buttons to do so. But it being -10 means you are going to meet a basic 1-2 punish. In my experience so far, very few players have been punishing me for throwing out back 4 or RFF B+3. Probably because it just happens too quickly. They're like, okay, I can let that go. It's not that big of a deal. So you can still treat it like it's a safe move, but if you're against an opponent who's really awake, then you're gonna get punished for checking the opponent, whether they were stepping or whether they were pressing, like if you're trying to do it for like a frame trap. And the last thing that these 2 moves now have in common is that you can sidewalk and then down back. You see that? Did you see that? That's crazy. And you can just take your time. So instead of doing, specific combo routes, you can do the exact same combo route for both moves because this is legit. So you'll always get 70+ damage for both combos because you can basically use the route that you are always using on an RFS B+4 for the most part, or like SS4 on counter hit. Well, not all of the routes there, but like specific routes, like most especially the down back 4. Because if we change it to a different one, so let's say you walk and then you back 3, and then now you can do something like that. And that's pretty much close, borderline 70 damage. So not much of a comparison here. It's just like they're more or less the same move now. Yeah, so that's everything I know about back 4 and RFF B+3 has been the lesson for this video. Again, I've been Frontier, and thank you for watching.